The ending of Cobra Kai left us with many interesting references and curiosities. Additionally, the series gave us a clear connection to the upcoming movie Karate Kid Legends. That's what we'll talk about here. Today on Charlietales, I'll show you all the secrets of the Cobra Kai finale. Ready? Let's go! The movie Karate Kid Legends will be released soon, and its story will be set 3 years after the events of Cobra Kai. In the final season, there is a very subtle connection to this movie. If we look at the final scene, Daniel is wearing a brown jacket with 2 pockets. This is the same jacket he wears in the Karate Kid Legends trailer. In episode 11, Robbie is given a brochure with options for his future. One of them suggests he work in home maintenance. This disappoints Johnny Lawrence. Let's remember that in the first season, Johnny did this kind of work and was treated poorly. In fact, the guy in the brochure is blonde and looks identical to Johnny from that time. Even their postures are the same. The last thing Johnny wants is for his son to suffer the same fate as he did. In the semifinals, Robbie is intimidated by Axel's enormous power and even says that the guy is a machine. But this changes in the 3rd round when Robbie manages to land a few punches. Here, Johnny Lawrence tells Robbie that Axel is not a machine. He's human, meaning he can be defeated. This is a clear reference to Rocky IV. In that movie, the villain Ivan Drago seemed invincible. But everything changed when Rocky managed to hurt him. At that moment, his trainer told him that Drago was not a machine, just a man. When Johnny defeats Sensei Wolf, he does so with a very special move. First, he throws a punch that Wolf blocks. Then Johnny spins around to deliver a surprise punch. This is the classic attack of Mike Barnes, the villain from Karate Kid 3. We first saw this move in that movie. And of course in Cobra Kai, Mike Barnes used it several times. First during his fight against Chosen, and later in his fight against Johnny Lawrence. It's likely Johnny learned the move from him. This season reveals that Terry Silver has a terminal illness and that his life will soon come to an end. However, this was foreshadowed in previous seasons. In season 4, we saw scenes of Silver with some mysterious pills. These are the same pills he takes at the end of the series, in the yacht scene. And in season 5, when Johnny and his wife find out about the pregnancy, they run into Terry Silver at the hospital. Here, Silver says he had no idea about the baby, so this meeting was a coincidence. But why would Silver be at a hospital? Now that we know about his illness, it's evident he was already undergoing medical treatment. In the penultimate episode, Daniel returns Johnny's Cobra Kai dojo as a sign of their friendship. They even bow to each other in respect. This is a reference to the first season. Back then, we had an identical scene where Daniel visited Johnny's dojo for the first time and basically threatened him. These scenes reflect the evolution of their relationship. In the past, the scene was about their rivalry, but now they are good friends. In this bar, we see 2 men watching the finals on TV. Both were very important in Cobra Kai's story. The first is the pawn shop owner we met in the first episode. He sold Johnny Lawrence a laptop. The second is the store owner, where Johnny met Miguel. These 2 men knew Johnny as a loser and mocked him, but now they got to see him as a world champion. In the final round of Johnny vs. Sensei Wolf, we see the villain preparing a special attack. This technique is called the Shaolin Sunset, and we saw it when Silver first met Wolf. The technique consists of a super kick capable of stopping the opponent's heart. Wolf used it to kill a man. Johnny Lawrence knew nothing about this technique, so if he hadn't stopped it, he probably would have died. Once again we saw Vanessa, Daniel's cousin, who we've seen before. Many people still don't know this, but she is played by actress Julia Macchio, who in real life is the daughter of Ralph Macchio, our very own Daniel-san. In the tournament finals, we see the return of Daryl Vidal, who acts as a referee. This character competed alongside Daniel and Johnny in the All Valley tournament in the first Karate Kid movie. In real life, the actor is also named Daryl Vidal, and he is a real martial artist who contributed a lot to the first film's production. Vidal served as Mr. Miyagi's stunt double. Additionally, he was the one who designed the iconic crane kick that Daniel used in the final fight. Axel defeats Robbie by severely injuring his knee. Seeing this, Miguel is filled with rage and seeks revenge for his friend. This is a clear reference to Rocky IV. In that movie, the villain Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed, and this pushed Rocky to seek revenge against him. Cobra Kai repeated this story, but Robbie was Apollo, and Miguel played the role of Rocky. Johnny initially cannot fight Sensei Wolf because he is too afraid. He is terrified of losing and being a failure. This theme of fear is a clear reference to Karate Kid 3. In that story, Daniel faced Mike Barnes, but the villain terrified him so much that Daniel was consumed by fear. In response, Miyagi told Daniel that it was okay to lose to an opponent, but not to fear. This restored Daniel's confidence and led to his victory. The same thing happens in Cobra Kai, but this time, it's Daniel who helps Johnny regain his confidence. Julie Pierce was supposed to appear in the final season. According to the production team, they wanted to include her as a big surprise, but it wasn't possible because actress Hilary Swank declined the offer. The plan was to place her in the final episode. She was supposed to be the one to give Miyagi's pearl necklace and reveal that he was never a thief. Unfortunately, the actress did not accept the proposal, so they changed the script to have Daniel's mother reveal the secret instead. When Daniel holds the trophy with Johnny, he tells him the phrase, "You're all right, Lawrence," as a way of congratulating him on his victory. This is the same phrase Johnny told Daniel 40 years ago when he won the All Valley. Back then, Johnny said, "You're all right, LaRusso," accepting that his rival fought well and handing him the trophy. Daniel has a nightmare where he is attacked by several men wearing skeleton costumes, but is saved by Miyagi. This is a reference to the first Karate Kid movie. In that story, Daniel was beaten by the Cobra Kai students who wore these costumes. But Miyagi appeared to save him, and the rest is history. In the penultimate episode, Johnny sits on a bench to talk with Miguel. This scene references the first season of the series. Back then, Johnny sat with Miguel in the same way and told him that Daniel cheated in the All Valley tournament. However, in the final season, the perspective is different. Now Johnny admits that Daniel won that fight fairly. This clearly shows Johnny's growth and maturity. Sensei Wolf tells Axel to injure Miguel's back. This is the same thing we saw in the first Karate Kid movie, when John Kreese ordered Johnny to hit Daniel in his injured leg. However, Axel disobeyed this order, and that changed the entire story. Axel could have ended up like Johnny, a man consumed by regret and blinded by resentment, but instead, he chose to be honorable. Axel lost the fight, but he did so on his own terms, proving himself to be a brave fighter who would never allow himself to be manipulated. He broke the cycle of violence. At the beginning of the season, Master Kim shows his daughter a scroll. It contains a deadly Cobra Kai technique, which the woman later uses against her own master. Interestingly, we saw this concept before when Chosen gave Daniel a scroll with a secret Miyagi-Do technique. Unfortunately, we never saw what that technique was, but we assume it could have been a lethal move, like Cobra Kai's. The series finale shows Daniel trying to catch a fly with chopsticks, just as Miyagi taught him. However, he is interrupted when Johnny violently kills the fly. This scene represents their two philosophies. Daniel tried to catch the fly with patience and precision, as Miyagi preached. On the other hand, Johnny dealt with it in a practical and rough way. They both had the same goal, but with different methods that reflect their own styles. In this restaurant, we see some television producers talking about a series they want to make. They say it will be set in Hill Valley in 1985. What are they talking about? Well, apparently they want to make a series about the iconic movie Back to the Future. The first film in that saga is set in Hill Valley in 1985. Additionally, they mention several actors from that saga, such as Crispin Glover, who played Marty McFly's father. They also mention Thomas Wilson, who played the villain Biff. This scene could mean that the producers of Cobra Kai are developing a series about Back to the Future. Or maybe the scene is just a joke, but what do you think? That's all for today. If you liked the video, you'd really help me out by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also, remember to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.